Hello friends, hello nation, hello Lane.
Hello Kevin.
We wanted to make a quick video for you guys because we got so many comments, so many questions
About the tiling.
about tiling. And we encouraged you to do it last time.
Do it yourself.
You can do it yourself.
Even though a couple of the professionals told me to quit giving advice, it's because they want your tiling dollars. We're not gonna do it like a pro. You're not gonna have the tools, you're not gonna have the knowledge, you're gonna do it as a DIY. So this is a DIY tutorial on the few basic things you need to know to put your tile up yourself.
Yeah, I really do feel like a lot of those videos out there are professionals saying, this is how you tile. And you watch it and you go,
that's too
man,
hard.
that's too hard. I better call a professional. And
Exactly.
It's kind of like, yep, that's what I intended for you to do in the first place. But you can get very good results. We've done many tiles, bathrooms and kitchens, and floors, and you can too.
You can do it. So, here's how.
Here's how, and go.
In a historic home, well, in any home, the place that it's most important that the lines are straight and the tiles are whole is at the eye line. When you walk into a room, you want to see a good plumb line all the way around the room. If you start with your plumb line in the middle of the space and you start working up and down from there, you're gonna get a nice eye line all the way around. You're not gonna start at the ceiling and start working your way down. Even if you make your plumb line at the ceiling, houses are so off square that it can start to shift a little bit even as you get down to the midpoint of the room.
And yes, we are doing a color piece in the middle of the run to keep it even with that border, because we had some of the historic tiles left. But even if we had just been doing subway tile floor to ceiling, we would still start with the plumb line in the middle, because that's literally the only way you can be absolutely sure to me, you're getting a plumb line. And you want all of your lines at the eye line of the room to be straight, because if you just start at your ceiling and work your way down, or on your floor and work your way up, your grout lines are going to be doing this by the time you get to the middle, because these floors aren't plumb. Now, you can always do your plumb line right at the ceiling or your plumb right at the floor, but I've found that creates like really some difficulty with spacing. So I like to start in the middle and work up and down.
So I personally, this is just a personal preference, no reason to tell me why you don't like this method. I've been laying tile for 70 years and that's not how I do it. Well, that's how I do it. That way I get beautiful plumb lines and I can get a great line all the way around the circumference of the room. Beautifully done.
Let's also tell them about another thing that we do with our old houses that are not square, and it's impossible to get complete square lines everywhere, is we use white grout with white tile.
We are so excited to take a little bit of a break in this video that is dedicated to learning to talk to you for a couple of seconds about Skillshare. Skillshare is the marketplace where people come together, millions of people come together from all around the globe to concentrate on creative learning. And Kevin and I love to learn. We believe firmly in continuing our education throughout our lives. Keeps those brains healthy and strong, right?
Yes, absolutely.
But we have a hard time doing continuing education.
We are on the move.
All the time. I can't sign up for a watercolor class at the library because I'm never going to be here to go to the library. But what do I always have with me?
Your computer.
Always. So I can, from wherever I am, sit down for whether it be 45 minutes, 15 minutes, however long I have to dedicate to creative continued learning, and I can take my watercolor essentials class led by Katie Rogers. And Kevin, if you were going to be taking a class with Skillshare, what would it be?
I'm so excited. I've been wanting to learn the software for a long time. So I'm going to take Animating with Ease in Adobe After Effects from Jake Bartlett, and you guys will see the results because we'll be using that software on our next videos.
We are really excited and very honored to be partnering with Skillshare. As you know, most of our videos we talk about the fact that we don't do a lot of partnerships because we want to make sure that the things that we bring to you are things that we we use and that we believe in. And we use and believe in Skillshare. We're also very excited because for the first 1,000 people who click on the link, 1000, you're gonna get a free month's entry into Skillshare. So you can explore, you can see what kind of creative experiences they have there for you, what kind of classes you might like to take, and some things you might like to learn from the comfort of your own home. Look in the description for the link, give that link a click, explore Skillshare, and then let us know, what did you pick to learn?
You're gonna love it.
You can hang tile on a wall over paneling if it is a real wood product. Those 1970s, 80s panelings that are the weird, slick, like printed on plywood, it's not gonna work over that because it's just gonna fall off, and it's not structurally sound enough to hold the tile. But this is actual, real, solid wood veneer paneling. And then secondly, behind that, all the walls in this house are shiplap sheathing, all of them. Every wall is floor to ceiling, solid 3/4 inch wood. So structurally, we don't need the support that you normally would need from a cement board or a green board because those walls are not gonna move. They're not gonna shift. So we have the structural support that we need. And we use mastic on the walls. You can't use thin set. If you try to use thin set on the walls, your tiles are gonna slip right off. But if you use mastic and you have a good substructure, you can hang your tiles, lay your tiles right on top of whatever structure is up there on your wall, whether it's paneling or whatever it may be. Oh, and a lot of people are gonna ask, why aren't you using spacers? And so grout, the purpose of grout and the purpose of putting those spacers in is because most tile is laid underfoot where you're gonna get a lot of pressure, and that pressure is gonna cause movement. Those tiles can then crack. Because they're on the wall, they're never gonna be stepped on. There's never gonna be pressure. So you don't need as much play with the grout and the space and the allowance for movement that grout gives. So you can hang them, you can put them almost right up next to one another and just use a tiny little bit of grout. You get a much more historically appropriate look that way, and it's perfectly safe. Now, if you want that look on your floors, you're gonna have more trouble because you do need grout. You do need to have that allowance for movement. If you see historic encaustic tiles that are butted up right next to each other and you say, well, those don't have grout in between them, that's because encaustic tiles are actually laid in cement. They're bedded down in cement next to each other so that substance is giving the support. So there's a tiny lesson on historic tiles and why you can hang yours as I'm hanging mine in the bathroom.
So lots of people ask us how we're cutting the tile, and I think cutting the tile is one of the scariest things to people. First of all, if you're using a really expensive tile, it can be scary because even when you're doing it properly, you can still break your tiles. So that's why we like really cheap tile. Right? Little less never hurt anybody.
Yeah, it cost you $1. What? How much it cost you? Less than that, right?
I think like 32 cents a piece.
Right.
I can drop 32 cents on the ground and not go looking for it. You get over $1, I'm gonna be searching. Sorry. That's just how I am. But this is our snap cutter. Lots of people use wet saws. I don't like wet saws because I don't like power saws. Kevin will tell you the one thing I refuse to do in home improvement is anything with power saw. I will do everything else. Nail guns, sanders, anything else. I don't like power saws.
And I want every tool to be a power tool.
And Kevin has a collection of saws. But this is a snap cutter. Very easy, very simple principle. There's a diamond wheel, you abrade the surface, you snap the cut.
Where do you get a snap cutter and how much do they cost?
They're very expensive, Kevin. This one was $27.
Ooh, look how fancy.
Ooh. But what you do is you get your measurement that you need for your tile, which I've already done. I didn't set it properly. I didn't get it tightened down. You tighten down so that you have your measurement so that you know your cut is correct. You line up your tile. Hear that sound?
I hear it.
And then it's called a snap tool because snap. Now I have my hand.
Whoa.
Ooh.
That is crazy, man.
Insane. That's how you use a snap cutter, and that's how you cut your tile if you're too scared to use a wet saw which I am. I also find them really messy, so I like to avoid as much mess as possible. But see, look, this is how we work. You see, I'm sitting in my living room
I was about to
floor,
say.
on the floor, cutting my tile.
You probably wouldn't have a wet saw in the living room.
I wouldn't have, I mean, I might have a wet saw in the living room, knowing me, but this is how people who do DIY work, and you shouldn't feel intimidated to do it. You shouldn't feel like you have to have a work shed to go out and work in. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do where you gotta do it. So here I am.
All right, Lane, you have your triangle,
And my
half
trowel,
diamond,
which I couldn't remember earlier today.
and your trowel.
And my mastic. And my wall, which is a very important part of the
Yeah.
process.
I guess so.
Good thing about this, I just checked this line, and this tile line is level, so I don't have to worry about getting another level line. Over here we did do a level line to make sure that our grout lines stayed nice and straight, but from here I can just work right off the top of this. So, super easy. A lot of your tile setters like to apply the mastic directly to the wall. I like to butter the back of my tiles. It's personal preference. It lets me go at my own pace. I don't have to worry about working at the speed of the mastic setting. So you want to put on a coat of mastic, and then you want to drag your trowel's texture side through, so that gives it more adhesion. Stick it on, press it firm. I got a little crazy with my mastic. I got crazy with my mastic because I was showing you how to do it. It makes me nervous. Makes me nervous. But press it really firmly. Easy breezy. Beautiful cover girl.
The shower walls were very difficult because we did the diamond pattern tile, and we wanted to wrap that diamond pattern. We didn't want to be just like hodgepodge.
Whose
mix
crazy
and match.
idea was it to do that diamond pile?
Pile?
Diamond pattern
We should
tile.
have taken a nap.
Pile is pattern tile.
Okay, all
I'm
right.
just shortening it.
All right, I like that.
We are going to talk about how to do these weird corner cuts, which freaks everybody out when you're trying to figure out how to make your cuts so that they look good and they fit properly. This is the number one question we get. I know how to hang tile, or I think I can hang tile, but I'm scared of the cuts. So I'm going to show you a quick and easy trick. You ready? So we have this weird cut. Obviously, our tile doesn't fit, but I put my tile here and I mark a line from this point to this point. Straight edge. I'm gonna look right into the camera light. Now I see your dots. So I'm gonna mark that straight edge. Okay. And we're gonna cut that line. That line right on. This rubber line right here is where your diamond blade's gonna go, so you wanna put your line right on there. You've made your cut. Not only will you have your tile to fit your space, but you'll have your tile to wrap your pattern so that you can continue on with your lines all the way around the room.
Kevin, let's show them what they've won.
What have they won today?
They won this USG Durock. This half-inch Durock goes down on your floor before you put your tile down. You're gonna love this Durock. So I took my handy-dandy, where'd it go?
Oh no.
My handy-dandy oscillating saw, which if you know me, you know
If you know, you know.
I love this saw. And made my cuts. So I just cut around the trim here, and I cut around a little gas line that we're gonna keep access to. You can use a box cutter and score Durock and break it off similar to drywall if you want. You don't want to use a power tool like some people. So just cut it down, fit all your spots, put a screw every 8 inches.
All right.
All of the mosaic pattern that you see on the floor, I bought that tile as just white sheets of white hex tile. I created the pattern. Then I had to pop out all the places that we didn't want those white tiles, and I had to put in the blue tiles that we wanted in those spaces. So all those little tiles had to be hand set in there.
I gotta say, tiling of all of the home improvement things is really not that hard. Tiling is definitely something you should take on. If you haven't tiled something, just jump in and do it. It's not difficult, and you can save a lot of money.
A lot of money. Not to disparage professional tile people out there, not to discourage you from using pros. If you want to use pros, go to it. But it's not as difficult as they make it look. It's not as difficult as they make it sound.
We hope you enjoyed that video on tiling.
Why are you so silly?
I don't know.
Tile
I'm
is
trying
not
to.
funny.
No.
Tile is very serious. And we hope you've enjoyed this very serious look at how to apply your tile yourself.
History of tile.
The history of tile.
So anyway, go out and do it. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.